Hello and welcome everybody to today's webinar focused on data products for process mining, why AI-powered data products are foundational for the future of process mining. I'm here today with my host, I should say, Maggie Soldner, and myself, I'm Nada Tellier. Maggie's actually going to lead us through a lot of the content today. And before we dive in, I just wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping items. All participant lines are muted, and you can use the Q&A section of the GoToWebinar panel to submit any questions you have throughout today's presentation, and we will definitely save time at the end for Q&A, so please make sure to use that. If you have any questions about audio or anything, of course, as always, exit the webinar, come back in. Hopefully that helps. And you can also use the chat to submit any issues there. Before we actually dive in, I will go ahead and introduce Maggie. So Maggie is our principal product manager. She sits obviously on our product team, and she also has extensive history with helping to build data products that businesses can actually use to put into practice and can generate results from. Maggie's been with the company for several years and has a lot of joy and passion in this data product building journey. So without further ado, Maggie, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Neda, for the introduction. I'm very excited to be here with everybody today and talk about how data products can leverage your process mining projects. But it doesn't really matter if you are already implementing process mining projects. We will also talk a lot about data products and their benefits in general. So also when you are already at the beginning at the journey, experimenting with first basic data products, you will still have a good session, I hope. So I brought a real world example today from manufacturing, and it will help us to understand what value data products can create for your process mining journey. And as Neda said, you can submit questions, and at the end of the session, we will hopefully have enough time left to answer all of them, or if not, we will follow up on them, of course. So let's dive in to our manufacturing use case. So I want you to imagine a large manufacturing company that is producing and selling goods all over the globe. These large corporations usually have a very high volume of business transactions that they document. So they already record a lot of information and documentation on their processes. However, they usually have this data stored in quite complex landscapes. Why is that? Of course, a company does not appear overnight with 10 or 20,000 or more employees, but there is a growth journey to it. So they start smaller at some point, and then they grow over the years. And with every of these growth steps, so they will grow their core corporation, they might acquire competitors or partners or launch new subsidiaries. And with every of this step, they add a piece of complexity to their IT and data landscape. And this, in the end, can make it really difficult to prepare the data that is often siloed in different systems for analytics projects like process mining. So that's in the field of process mining what we dedicate ourselves to. We see a large potential with the data product mindset to speed this up and to help businesses to prepare the data much faster that they need to feed to some process mining tools like Celonis, for example. So with this complex landscapes, I extracted 4 key challenges that it brings if you have such a complex landscape. Very often people don't know where to find the data they need or if it is even there in their corporation. Then the quality of the data. So once they find it, they get access to it. This already takes weeks or maybe even months. And then they find out that the quality is not sufficient. So a timestamp might be formatted incorrectly, or data might be missing, or some IDs might be corrupted. And then you go back and forth. Additionally, if you have data on maybe the same topic stored and collected in different systems, like every system collects it a bit differently and stores it a bit differently, and in the end it can be a real challenge to harmonize it and have a unified view on, for example, a business process again in the end, because it's not so straightforward to connect these data silos and the entries in there on your transactions again. And last but not least, you spend all this amount of time and effort to prepare your data, to find it, to clean it, to combine it, and then you struggle with sharing it. So the next person might do it all over again because they cannot access what you already prepared for them, and then it only fits the process mining case maybe. However, also many other use cases could benefit from it. And of course, there's a smarter way to do it, and that's with data products. So I brought an abstraction story for you today to have a bit easier entry point to understand the benefit of data products and the struggles if you don't have them. So in this story, somebody wants to build some clothing. However, now imagine you have to deal with all the complexity down to the raw material. So you cannot really focus on doing the design and producing part, but you have to bother about how can I grow cotton and how can I harvest it. I think like this might probably not even be possible. You don't know how to grow cotton, or it will take you a long time to find out how to do it, and then you have to wait until it grew. And also the quality might be really poor because you don't have expertise how to deal with this raw material. So probably you will pick up the phone, you will try to find people who did it once so you can get the cotton that's already harvested, but it will take a lot of time to find these people. And then there might be cases like with silk, where you just cannot solve the issues you are facing and you have to completely ditch it from your plan. You cannot use it because the gap is too large. And also with that's what we see between wool and cotton. You have to figure out how to combine it. There might also be duplicate streams, so work being done redundantly. Like everybody in the need of cotton and wool would do it over again. And so if you have to bother with all this acquisition, exploration, and preparation, only little time is left for the actual value generation, in this case, producing the final clothing. And as we can see, the final product is also not very fashionable, and there will not be a lot of people who want to buy it. So it's also difficult to generate value with this final product. So the answer to this is data products. And I want to talk a bit about why does it pay off to treat data as a product, and what is even a data product. So with the data product mindset, you commit to treating the data in your organization with the same care that you would treat any other product that you are producing and selling to your customers. That means you are not treating it anymore as a business byproduct, but you really acknowledge the value that's in there and try to unlock it. And part of it is that the people who know the data best, they will bother about preparing it for others. And that helps to shield these end users from a lot of complexity, like they don't have to think about whether the sales order data is stored in an Oracle database or in an SAP HANA. They just come to a marketplace where the data available is nicely described, nicely documented, and they can understand, is it the data I need for my process mining use case, for example? They will request access to it and then can start right away from there implementing their process optimization. So a short note on this last part, this also means that a data product is not only the table that you share with the colleagues in your organization, but there is more to it. It also involves the transformation pipeline and all the metadata, the documentation that makes it easy to explore and understand. So with data product, the picture looks much cleaner and efficient. So we have people who know very well how to grow cotton and harvest it, or how to take care of sheep. And they will take care of harvesting these raw materials and bring the fabric to a marketplace. And then the people from the different sides come together on this marketplace. The people who want to produce some clothing, they will have a look at different fabrics, select the ones that they need for the dress they want to produce, and then go ahead and spend their time on actually creating and offering their dresses. And as we can see, the final result in this example with the products in between, with this marketplace in between, is much nicer, and there will be many people that want to buy these dresses, and the producers can create actual business value with it. Now, what does it look like in a data world? So typically we have some IT people, some data engineers, and they have the skills to extract the data from the operational systems. That can be an ERP system like SAP, for example, or an MES system for production data. And then typically we have an analytical ecosystem. So this extracted data will be maintained in a data warehouse, in a data lake. And from there, you have first source-aligned data products. So that's still data products, let's say rather on the left side of the chain, resembling closely what has been collected in the operational world. And then people can build upon this source-aligned data products, combine them into new data products, and with each layer, it becomes more aligned to the target use case. And then on top of these data products in the One Data Marketplace, you would have this monetization tools. What does that mean? You would have reports, for example, in Power BI or Tableau, that people consume to derive business decisions based on the data. You would have applications, for example, process mining applications like Celonis, where you model and optimize your business processes and obviously can save a lot of money there. Or you feed it to some algorithms that can be an LLM model you are deploying, or also a sales forecast that you need to steer your business. So on the right side, on the business side, that's where the value of the data is really unlocked and the business value is created. And as we see on this marketplace in One Data, where the data products are shared, this gap that we before had between the IT and the business can nicely be bridged. In our manufacturing system, this means on the left side, we would have some data sources. It can be an Oracle database, as I said, some SAP data, some fishbowl system collecting data. And all the sources are coming together to one data. And with one data, you can build, manage, and share the final data products. And we will see in the demo video that I brought today what capabilities of one data help you to do so. So there are, for example, AI capabilities that help you to be faster in building the data. It has a quality module that's dedicated to managing the quality of data that you are already sharing. And of course, the marketplace where people come together and exchange the data. Example data products. So if you want to do, for example, inventory management, process analytics, you would need data like sales orders, production orders, but also master data like on material or also plant master data. And so you would search the marketplace and ideally find the data products that you need for your process mining, and you can go right ahead, ask for access and use it in your process mining application. So that's nice. We can go ahead with the process mining. But what's even nicer, that also other use cases now benefit from it. So the sales order data does not go only to Celonis, but it also goes into some financial reporting or some report on sales orders with forecasts that is then used for company steering. So it's really much more efficient because you only build it once and then you share it, and redundant tasks are avoided. So I already talked about the demo video, and I will now start it for you. And it shows how one data would help you with data products to leverage your process mining if you're using Celonis as a process mining tool.
Hi and welcome to this One Data product presentation. Great news! One Data now speeds up the data preparation for Celonis process mining with its sophisticated AI tools. New features are provided for a smooth and secure transition to the Celonis platform, powered by One Data's data product infrastructure. In One Data, users organize business cases as templates. In this way, the integration of data into a Celonis data pool becomes transparent, easy to maintain, and most important, highly efficient. In our example, we are looking for a business case with the tag manufacturing as a keyword. Here we go. There is already a case being worked on. In this particular business case, we see that a previously ingested SAP database is linked to One Data. There is also a connector component in here, a Celonis data pool. From this connection, derive all needed data products or requests below. In the Celonis software, these objects can be found in the Objects and Events section. The 21 object types we see here are identical to One Data's objects. All object types of Celonis indicate One Data's column semantic in the correspondent data products. In this way, the Celonis data pool component in the business case builder provides the needed structure for users to align on, and it leverages project efficiency by providing focus on what Celonis's data mining software really needs. So let's jump back to One Data, and let's see how this metadata is handled there. Most conditions for the connection are already met. Datasets like purchase order, quantity conversion, or delivery item have all been processed and exist as data products in One Data. But here, on the right, we see some data needed for the connector cannot be provided by the SAP database. That's because this data is stored on an Oracle database not yet attached to the business case. However, it is available in One Data and was already ingested. So let's get this data in here. As additional components, all previously ingested databases can be selected. We choose the Oracle database for material and can now work with it. As soon as we connect the database, the missing and in red indicated data products will be detected by the algorithm. Existing data products are now in place. Where no such data products are in place yet, a data product request is generated automatically for our convenience. We can also inspect the business case in OneData's Graphscape, see how its data interrelates, and monitor its progress. Here we can use the search function. For example, let's learn about the plant asset, where it derives from and what its relations are. The search results show us a list of all assets and edges which include the term plant. Simultaneously, they are highlighted on the map too. However, we want to check out the first result. If we select this asset and select its inbound edges, we can easily find all data that will go into our data product. Not only can we identify what other data products influence the one selected, but we can also draw conclusions what kind of raw data is actually in there. By inspecting the asset's properties, we can easily find all relevant attributes. Additionally, all columns and their respective types are shown in the same manner. For now, let's go back to the business case and see what we can find out about its data product's status. In the same way we entered Graphscape, we can jump right into the overview of the business case's data product requests. Here, the whole business case is organized in a Kanban board. On the left side, in the section New, all the data product requests that still need attention can be found. On the right, we find all requests with the status Published, meaning they're completed and ready to be previewed and used. To process a request status from New to Development, we must provide some information. Let's do this for the request Material. In this data product request, several pieces of information are already filled in based upon the connector to speed up this process. For example, the title. But what comes in especially handy? The column semantics needed for development are already derived from the Celonis connector as well. Additional information can be provided manually if needed, or by OneData's AI. For now, let us quickly set up this data product request. First, we choose a priority. Let's set this to High. For most of the other request details, we can utilize the AI. It is aware of prior decisions and is set up with the available business domains and entities. In our case, the AI won't overwrite anything the Celonis component would need, but rather supports towards the user's internal organization. For example, owner groups and developers for this task are selected. Under the tab, Adding Data for Development, we can directly attach resources to our request for the developers to work with. We can either do this manually or again using AI. The AI's proposed asset list is based on the connector's demand and a distance to the target file. Adding the whole batch to the request should be fine in our example. This way, developers will not only receive the desired column semantic, but also the data to work with. At this point, this request is ready to go. The data to work with is there, and all necessary information is filled in. So let's submit it. Back in the business cases view, we see that the data product request we send off has changed. It has a status now which is currently New, and its priority can be identified. As soon as any of the request comes into development status, we can investigate the OneData project automatically set up for the development team. In OneData projects, everything can be found predefined to the respective connector's needs, with workflows being set up according to the project's need. OneData's AI also plays a crucial role in this particular area, as it helps developers with code. It breaks up silos to link diverse data by using powerful linking algorithms. So each project reaches maximum efficiency. How are the data products being integrated into Celonis? Well, you can find them right here under the data jobs. Via direct SQL import, all of OneData's data products can seamlessly find their way into the data pool. The pulled data products are mapped to the target objects we saw before. Via these objects, data products can be used for process mining. For example, for inventory management. Another great aspect is OneData's quality control. Data quality parameters can here be set up, altered, and effectively monitored. Thank you for watching this OneData product presentation. I hope you enjoyed these conceptual features, and remember, some of what you have seen is still work in progress.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Now let me jump back into the presentation. So, as we saw in the video, One Data helps you to build, manage, and share your data products in your organization. So it helps you to build data products faster, for example, with AI-powered processing capabilities, with the data landscape that gives you transparency on what data is there, and also with some capabilities that makes it even easier to find the assets you need. So we saw the request, and it will propose input data and let you know if there is some data that will fit for the transformation pipeline as an input if you want to build some new data products. Then once it's built, it also helps you to manage the life cycle of your data product. So from the request until it's published, we saw the Kanban board that helps you track the status of the different requests you might be working on. And last but not least, of course, the quality module, so that you can create and schedule quality checks for your data. You will be notified if there is an issue, and it helps you to fix these issues. And then the ultimate state is when you really manage to share your data with others in your organization. So it's easy for them to find in the marketplace what they are looking for and to understand quickly, is it really the data product that I need for my use case? So let's dive in a bit deeper into the journey that the users of One Data would be on with their data product builder. So we have on the left side the different people that are product consumers that are using it, for example, for Celonis. They would come to the marketplace, search it, explore all the data that is there, and best case, it's already there, so they just request access and they can go on with the use case they want to implement. However, there will always be cases where the consumers are in need of additional data products. Then they would create a data product request, and together with the owner, so the owner is a person who knows the domain the data is coming from quite well. So somebody that needs sales order data, they would request sales order data from an owner that knows the sales process really well. So together they would design this new data product they want to offer. So it also ensures via this request and design capabilities we saw in the video that what will be built really fits the consumer's needs. And after the requirements are sorted out, it goes to the data product developer or data product producer. So they will build the transformation pipeline. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a very skilled and coding person. So it could also be a business user that doesn't know how to write Python code, right? So that's what we have this transformation engine for, with the AI capabilities that makes it really easy to build such transformations as well. And they, in turn, will also use exploration capabilities of the marketplace, of the landscape, to find the data they need to build this transformation pipeline. And there is also a review step implemented. So once the data product is built, people will have some value assurance round. The owner will play a central part in this. And only if the data product that has been built passes this review step, it can be published, and then it will appear in the marketplace, ready for other people to be found and used. And once it is published, you need this life cycle management. So you need a possibility to keep its quality on a high level, so people are not disappointed or are not helped with this data product because they request access only to find out that the quality is quite poor. So you have to keep an eye on that. And that's what meant with this monitoring piece. And of course, if there is an issue, you will be notified, the users will be notified, and then you can tackle anything that's popped up. So I want to come back to the 4 challenges that we talked about in the beginning that make it quite difficult to prepare data for process mining in heterogeneous landscapes. That was finding the right data, the data you need, having it in good quality, harmonizing it, combining it, and finally not having it then again in a silo, but sharing it openly. So the effort of preparation really pays off. For the first issue, finding the data you need, we saw that we have the recommender engine. So one data will propose source data that could fit the transformation pipeline you plan to build. We have the landscape that brings a lot of transparency. So it's much easier for people to understand what data is my organization already collecting and where can I find it? How can I get it? Then the second part, the quality, you have the possibilities to create quality checks. There are out-of-the-box quality checks, but you can also build custom checks and then apply it to your data product. These checks can be scheduled, so they are triggered in frequently, not only once manually, but they will be rerun on a specific frequency. People will be notified if there's an issue. So this helps users of OneData quite a lot to keep the quality level of the data they are offering on a very high. Then the transformation pipeline, especially combining data from siloed sources. So we have a lot of AI capabilities built in the workflow engine that helps people to combine data from different sources where that might not be a unique foreign key you can perform a simple join on, but also LLM capabilities that help you to build and come up with this transformation pipelines in a really fast manner, even though you might not have a lot of expertise in coding. And then the marketplace helps you to share the finished data product with others in your organization and to exploit the synergies between the use cases. So as we saw, that you don't only prepare the sales order data for your inventory management in Celonis, but also others can use it and create a report on it or something else to derive some business decisions from it. So bottom line, we saw that process mining can be leveraged with OneData and the data products that you build, manage, and share with it. You have the full lifecycle management that you need and the marketplace. And in the end, the key enabler is that you bridge this gap between the IT people and the business people. You make them collaborate, and the gap that you had before is closed, and it will be much faster and pay off much better if you prepare the data for the process mining. So I will hand it over to Neda. We're already at the end of the presentation, but I'm sure quite some questions have been submitted.
Yes, thanks, Maggie, for the presentation and for sharing the information. There's definitely a couple questions that came in initially. So one of the first questions here is, what systems do you integrate with?
Of course, a very relevant question. Customers always seek operational continuity. They have systems in place already that they do not want to ditch or replace. So we aim with One Data to integrate really well in this existing architectures. So a simple answer would be anything that offers a JDBC or API interface can be integrated with One Data. So we have really high flexibility to add new connectors that are required. But for the popular systems that are relational databases like Oracle or MySQL, MS SQL, databases like that, we have connectors out of the box, and we also, of course, support other file storages like Azure Data Lakes or AWS S3 buckets.
Excellent, thank you. And a follow-up question on that is something you were talking about throughout the project is kind of KPIs and business value. Is there a way to track business value for the projects?
Also a really interesting question. So we talked a lot about how data products unlock the business value. So in the end, you of course also want to see the number at some point. So in the business case builder that we saw in the video, where you can plan ahead, like what data products do I need for my process mining, for example, you can give it a value. So you can add what you know this will save you, for example, in cost. But there's also the possibility to get these values from third-party systems. So, for example, Celonis already provides you with these KPIs and tells you with the inventory management, you saved this or that amount of money, and you could read this value and display it in One Data, and that way show the associated business value for each of the business cases and even down to the data products that supply it or are supplied to it.
Thank you. And last but not least here, you also mentioned business friendliness. How easy is the solution to use for business people, and what are some of the functionalities that you see them using most frequently today?
So we aim heavily to enable business people to build data products also on their own. So they do not have to involve a data scientist, for example, every time they want to build a data product or need a data product. So we have in our workflow engine that allows you to build transformations, quite some AI capabilities. There's also LLM models deployed, so you can generate code with it. We are focusing on automating as much as possible for the users for the transformation. So you don't have to build everything from scratch, but the system already pre-generates a lot for you. And also, I briefly mentioned it, if you're struggling to combine data from different systems, like if there's not a unique identifier that fits, if you don't have a clear foreign key relationship, there are also algorithms you can easily deploy that will do this heavy lifting for you and come up with an alternative way to connect the records from these silos.
Which ultimately helps you get to the business value. So thank you, Maggie, for sharing this information and for answering these questions. There's one more question came in, which is, how is relevant information for process mining identified?
So Process mining applications usually need a specific set of data. So for the inventory management, we saw that data on sales orders and production orders that lead to material orders. You need all this information on your process and what is happening when. So in the case of Celonis, for example, there would be a data model that Celonis requires, and we can import this data model to our business case builder in OneData. So you already have it all laid out. If you want to do inventory management, you need this 21 data products, and then the recommendation engine kicks in and tells you, hey, if you want to build a sales order data product, I found sales order data in your SAP HANA. I found it in your Oracle system. This is how I think you can combine it. And that's where the automation is started and where you can really kick it off and build the sales order data product in a rapid manner.
Thank you. So hopefully that answers the question there. If not, feel free to write back into the questions box and we can resurface. We'll also pass the questions forward to our sales team to follow up directly where they can answer questions further. So Maggie, thank you so much. That wraps up the question section of today's webinar, and I will just quickly wrap us up. But one, we have some additional webinars taking place on the topics of different data products for financial steering, supply chain, production planning, as well as retail. So if you're interested in kind of exploring additional use cases for your business, you can go ahead and scan the QR code here, or you can head over to our website and register for additional webinars under our events section of the website. And last but not least, of course, if you're interested in learning more, you would like to see a product demo, you're interested in potentially exploring a workshop on process mining specifically, or even taking it a step further and going through a proof of value to see what that could potentially look like for your business. Of course, we're here to set you up for success, to support you on your journey to data product development. And if you have any questions, we obviously are here for you. So without anything else to say, except for we look forward to speaking with those who are interested. Please know that there is additional content information available on the website. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to Maggie, myself, and I'm sure a member of our team will be reaching out to support you. That's all for today. Maggie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the content. And for those of you who are attending, I hope that you have some actionable takeaways and insights from today's session.